The tribal college started from the Yochadihi Tribal Council. They had decided that they would like to build a college. They wanted to help educate natives, but they didn't want it to be a Yochadihi college. They wanted it to be a college for all California tribes and Indians in California, because we have the majority of the population in California are non-Indians from other states. So we do not have one functioning tribal college in California at this time. So Yochadihi set out to establish the tribal college. We have 2 full-time staff and 2 half-time staff working on it. We have conducted a feasibility study, both first and second phases, which we just received. That will help us. We've done surveys of all the tribes. One of the things that the tribes wanted most was a certificate program in tribal leadership and governance, and this is the first offering of it. The certificate program was so overwhelming that we had to cut it off at early registration.
So the program was designed to give anyone who is in leadership or aspiring to be in leadership a foundation of all the things they would need to know to be an effective tribal leader.
I am blown away by the information that was here. I mean, I knew some of it, but I didn't know how much I didn't know until I came here. And the information was really easy to take. They were really prepared with PowerPoints. The information was clear and really important information that could very easily be taken back to the tribe and implemented.
I was on the council when I was 21. I wish I had this program then that I could participate in. Now that I'm 41, getting a little bit older, came back 8 years later, a little bit more experienced. It would have been nice to have this program back then, you know, to be able to interact with all the other tribal leaders and panelists and attorneys. I would like to see my youth councils or the other leaders that are coming up understand what our elders went through, but then also understand the modern law that we've been creating now. Sometimes you have laws that tribes take to court that actually hurt the rest of us, set a precedent, and there's nothing we can do about it. But if we're all on the same page, then we can also talk about what bad law do we want to take to court, you know? I think it's important for our youth to understand the legality, the structure, and the business of what we're doing. It's no longer just about being a caring, compassionate tribal leader. You have to do that, but now you also have to be a business leader as well.
It far exceeded my expectations. I loved it. I currently am transitioning into going back to school myself to further my education, and I would love to go into law to learn what I can and then further my understanding to be able to help, you know, our people in that capacity, to be able to stand up and be educated and be knowledgeable in regard to those specific laws that were passed in like the 1700s, how they currently affect us today and how they set precedents for the judgments that are made, the rulings that are made. It really impacted me to think that laws that were made back then, in that time frame, with that worldview, that perspective of the people at that time, how they currently still, those mindsets still have effect on us today. You know, we say how much we've grown and changed and progressed, you know, and evolved as a country, but still those rulings are still in effect, and they still are making judgments based off of those, and that really hit home to me.
The information here is very, very empowering. My hope is that, like for myself, I was never exposed to this information as a young person. I was never exposed to this, or really my tribe. I've never lived on my reservation. But for young people to be able to grow up knowing this, that they can make a difference in their tribal communities, they never have to know what it's like not to have this if this tribal college is in place, if they know that there's a place they can go for this information.
I feel very energetic and energized by the participation and the enthusiasm from the students. They're all over exuberant, and they're happy, and I think that's a good sign, because as a founder, I worried that we wouldn't have participation, or that we would have low momentum. So I'm happy to see that we're having a great event, and we're producing wonderful students. And here we are today with our first graduating class, 2015.